All right, guys, coming to you with an urgent video today because yes, Iran and Israel are bombing each other. The markets are tanking, but in every one of these days is a huge opportunity. So I'm going to go through what's happening and why it's happening. Also, what you should be doing right now and where I see the biggest opportunity over the next few days. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 coins that I'm buying on this dip that I think are going to lead to huge gains as the markets come back. So let's start at the beginning here. First of all, why is the market reacting so aggressively to this news? Well, yes, people are fearful of war, and when that happens, they tend to pull their money out of the markets. But more importantly, people that are at the top, the big market movers, the whales, are preying on the little people's fear. So what happens is a news event like this comes out, someone at the top says, ooh, people are gonna get a little scared, I'm gonna pull my money out, so it's gonna start to tank the price, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, the price is going down. So they're gonna pull out more and more and more and more, price keeps going down, longs are liquidated, and then the price tanks. And what these people do that were at the top is they come down and they buy it back at the bottoms and they make all this money again, right? So you have to understand that it's partially the news, but it's mostly manipulation and taking advantage of the news. So what does that mean for us? If you're in a position that you plan on holding for a long time, Bitcoin, Ethereum, larger plays that you're just not planning on touching, you believe in the long-term vision, do not touch them during this time. It is not worth trying to catch the 5 or 10%, get in underneath and yada yada. There's too many people that are playing the game on the inside that have an advantage over you. So anything like that, I wouldn't touch. And in general, across my portfolio, things that already went down 10 to 15% because of this news, if I didn't already get out of them, but I still believe in them long term, even if they're mid cap or low cap coins, I'm just gonna hold them through this news. Now, there's a couple possibilities. If this war is prolonged, if it gets worse, if the US gets involved, we could continue to go down, and there is a realistic chance that Bitcoin goes all the way back down to 70 or 60K and retests those old highs. But there's also the possibility that we bounce around here, maybe go a little bit lower, and then have an aggressive bounce and recovery to the upside because this was all market manipulation to begin with. So based on your risk tolerance, you have a decision to make. If you really need that money and you're trying to play it safer on some of those riskier coins, it might not be a bad idea to pull out and just hold on to that for a while to see how things shake out. But if you're trying to make those multiples and you're playing aggressive in most of your projects that you really believe in, don't get shaken out, because the worst thing you can do is miss that recovery and then have to buy back in higher. And sometimes the best thing you can do during an event like this is go take a walk, turn your phone off for a couple days, don't freak out, don't check your portfolio. If you truly believe in crypto and you're playing with money that you are able to lose, not that we want or are going to lose it, but able to lose, take some time, take a deep breath, and don't overreact. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So anything I tell you is just my advice and what I'm personally doing. At the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions, and crypto is very risky. But I will say this, as of just yesterday, we were sitting in an incredible place with Bitcoin about to break out to new all-time highs, Ethereum on its way back. And so just as quickly as that sentiment flipped negative, it can flip back positive. And so what I'm looking at right now are what are the projects that I feel like I missed? What was I saying? Just a month ago, I had a good entry, everything pumped, and I missed. I wish I would have bought back then. And if you think about it, there's probably some projects you're feeling like that about as well. Now, all of a sudden, the price is back down, but the news is a little shaky and we've got some fear in the markets. It feels a little scarier to now pull the trigger than it did when we were up yesterday. But this is exactly why it's difficult to make money in crypto, because you have to be willing to buy when there's fear and doubt. On red days, when things are down, those are where the opportunities are. When it feels like it could go lower, that's where the opportunity is. And yes, it absolutely could go lower, but at some point, if you want to make the big gains, the multiples that you've been looking for, you have to take those risks, and those risks are going to be on the days where you don't want to buy. Now, the way that I'm personally buying on days like this is I'm DCAing. I always talk about that on this channel, dollar cost averaging, and that means that I'm buying in small amounts. So if you have $100 to buy, you don't put in $100 today, you maybe put in 20 or 30 or 50, and then you wait a few days, maybe even wait a week, see how the market shakes out, buy a little more, buy a little more. And that way you're not putting all of your stack in at one price. And if it does go lower, you can continue to bring your average buy price down with it. This way you can get some skin in the game. If it continues to go down, you still have more that you can pile in to get that average down. But if it starts to go up, you don't feel like you completely missed out. Some really good safer buys that I'm looking at getting into here are Solana, AVAX, INJ, which I think is really undervalued. And if you like to trade memes, things like Doge, like Brett, like Mog, usually take big hits around these types of news events because people are really quick to pull money out of meme coins, but that usually means that they recover the strongest when the market comes back. So guys, I'm gonna keep this one short today. I hope this helps you, especially if you're stressed about this news or seeing your portfolio dive down. Don't worry, everything is gonna be okay, and I promise in a month or two, the market's recovered and we're all gonna be talking rainbows and sunshine. But we gotta keep it real when the markets are down, and if this helped you out today, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've also got my link down below to get set up on BTCC if you wanna trade, and you get 10% back on whatever you deposit, so it's a really amazing deal. Hope this video helped you guys out, and I'll see you on the next one.